Yo, 1, 2, 3. So check this out. We live here in effect. Another episode of Hood Famouz with the one, the only, Tommy Black, a.k.a. DJ Black, a.k.a. No, I'm joking with you.
No, you keep going, bro. You keep going, man.
How are you today, fam?
Man, I'm feeling good, bro. Feeling good, man. Thank y'all for having me, man.
Hey, I want to thank you, too, for taking your time out of your busy schedule. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's all love, bro. It's all love, man.
So check this out. Here at Hood Famouz TV, we like to highlight people, places, or things that are hood famous, you know. So if anyone ever mentions Las Cruces, you got to mention DJ Black. You feel me?
Thanks, man. I mean, you know, I don't look at it like that, but thank you for saying that. You know, thank you for saying it, man.
It's the truth. So how long have you been in the city for?
Shit. Let's just say at least over. I'm gonna say 15 years. I'm gonna guess about 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah, 15 years.
Okay. Yeah. What originally brought you here?
Radio.
Radio.
You know, so I started radio at Power 102 in El Paso. Because I was in the military then when I did that. Then I ended up with a gig up in Albuquerque. I was at Kiss FM in Albuquerque. Then I went to Wild 106. Wild 106 shut down. I get a phone call from Damien and Ernesto over at Hot 103 and shit, you know. And I guess we had, like, they knew me from working at the radio station. And, you know, of course, when you tied into El Paso, you also tied in the Midland, Odessa. So all of us was like a small little family. So me and Damien crossed each other a lot there, you know, the MB Riders and at Baby Beach before he became Baby Bash and, you know, and stuff like that. Yeah. So, you know, we knew of each other, man. So I was actually chilling in Albuquerque when I got the phone call from him. Usually I don't know the number. I'm like, man, who the fuck is this? You know, I don't answer. So I went on the answer and he was like, man, you know, this is Damien. I don't know if y'all have ever talked to Damien, but Damien got that voice like the WB Frog and shit, you know. So so he on the, hey, we do this Damien, you know. I'm like, what the hell going on? So we did an improv interview. And I knew I wanted the job because the radio station that I was at had just switched formats.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, shit, I got to do something, man. Then when they called, I saw it as a hidden blessing. So, you know, of course, I didn't want to seem too anxious because when you're too anxious, when it comes down to dealing, you know, it's just like going to buy a car. You don't want to go in there and be all excited because the salesman going to say, well, I got him. I ain't got to give him no money off or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I try to play it cool. So the first thing I asked Damien was like, hey, man, y'all got a Popeye's chicken down there? And Damien said, yeah, as a matter of fact, we do. I said, I'll take the job. So I drove down here, man. And to be honest with you, bro, I came down here. I ain't going to say butt naked because I had stuff, but I basically had the shit off my back, man. The first couple of weeks that I was here, nobody stayed. No, I stayed in hotels. I didn't have a crib. I didn't have nothing, man. So I got down here. Then I started running to my old friends, man. Then I ran to my boy Henry. And Henry was a bartender with me when we used to do clubs in El Paso. So he was like, yo, man, I live in this spot. You know, come talk to the manager. So I go over there and talk to the manager. And it was Vista, Montana Apartments. You know what I'm saying? And it was low income housing. So what happened when I went over there, it was recently built. And so what happened is that the manager took a liking to me. I don't know if she liked Ja Rule or Jimmy the Cricket. I don't know what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? But she thought I was nice looking, so she sort of liked me. And she took care of me on that end. So, you know, I had a place over there. And, man, I didn't even, honestly, at the time, I didn't even have a ride, bro. Wow. So I was basically damn near walking back and forth, you know, to the radio station, and the first couple of years, you know, I say the first couple months out here, nobody even knew it. Yeah. But I lived so close, it wasn't shit to me, you know what I'm saying? So I went to the radio station, man, and I don't know if you remember Candy. She actually trained me at the radio station, man, and they said, well, we're going to give you the night show because I think Danny Boy, I think that was his name, he had just left and he went to Odessa, so I took his spot. So Damien talked to me about doing the Who Ride with him, which was basically me mixing live every Monday through Friday from 5 to 6 when people drove home. So as an entrepreneur, I knew that I had the captive audience in Las Cruces. So that was also a way for me to display my mixing, and not only that, my comedy talent. So what ended up happening is that I met with Ernesto and Damien, and they said, man, you know, we want you to be you on the radio. And my first question to them was, are you sure? Because I know how I am. I've always been a class clown, you know, and even in the military, they'll tell you, man, black a fool, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So then we got that popping, and I got into a bunch of trouble. Well, I'm gonna say a bunch of trouble, but I bumped heads with a bunch of people in Las Cruces because they wasn't used to my personality. If you cut on the radio station, you hear people, oh yeah, it's slightly cloudy outside with a slight chance of rain, blah, blah, blah. But then I get on there, man, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Then they, who the fuck is this? So I always try to keep it lighthearted and tell jokes. So I speak of my mom a lot. May she rest in peace. I speak of my mom a lot because, one, that's my heart. And I always say, if it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't be here, which, that makes sense. So my mom, was a sort of short, fat lady. So I always make reference to, man, my mama was short and fat, and I would tell jokes where I couldn't, when she wanted to give me a whooping, and even though I ran away, I could never get away from her, and she was short and fat, so I was like, my mama probably ran a 4.240,
Yeah.
So that offended some people in Las Cruces, so they was called up to the radio station and telling Nesto, and Nesto real cool, down to earth guy who's always even core. So he had me in the meetings, and he was like, man, I want to talk to you because we had some women call up saying you was talking about fat women, whatever, blah blah blah, A, B, C, and D. That was day one. So day two, I get in the meeting, and I had the phone call at that time from the NAACP. And they were sort of going in on me a little bit, telling Nesto all this shit, right? And one thing you'll learn about me, I give a fuck, but then again, I don't, because I'm never gonna let nobody tell me how to be me. And if I say stuff and it offend you, to me personally, I feel like then that's really hitting you in the head. You don't get mad at me, get mad at yourself because it's offending you, And then with radio, I always said, if you don't like what I say, go to the next station. But then again, they so sorry, you gonna come back. So then Ernesto had another meeting. So we sitting there, and Ernesto asked me, would I apologize to these groups of people that I offended? And of course, I said, yeah, I'll do that. Cool. So between Ernesto's office and 2 doors down is the radio station where we're broadcasting. So between that short walk, I was like, man, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's not me. You know what I'm saying? So I went on there. And Damien, he set me up good. Damien was like, hey, man, do you have something you want to say? And I was like, yeah, I do. I said, man, I was told that I offended, this certain group of people, blah, 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 and everything. And Ernesto asked me to come on here and apologize. And I said, but I made up in my mind, I ain't doing that. Wow. I said, I'm not apologizing to you for me being me. If I offend you, that's more on you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you think you're fat, there's a bunch of gyms up in here. I said, y'all can go down to Prime Time Fitness and get y'all thing on. I said, I'm not finna change who I am. I said, that's not gonna happen. I said, so either you accept me for me or you don't. Yeah. So at first, Ernesto was like, oh, Lord have mercy, man. You know what I'm saying? But then the ratings came back. And then when the ratings came back, it showed that there was more people in the Las Cruces that liked my personality versus the one that didn't like my personality. Because I'm going to tell you what, my mama always told me this. If you walk around smiling every day, there's always going to be somebody that has a problem with that. So do you worry about that one, or do you satisfy that 20? And that's the way in life, I look at life, even with DJing. There's going to be some people that like this song. But and the ones that don't like it. But if the dance floor is crowded, I'm not worried about that 2 or 3 that don't like it. You know what I'm saying? So then we went on, man, and people never knew that me and Damien never had a conversation about what we was going to talk about before we went on air. Never.
Wow.
Like if we did, it was it probably was 98% chance that we never spoke about what we talked about. Damien know he could throw the reel out, and I'm going to get it. And he'll tell you that today. He's like, man, I don't tell Black nothing. I know when I say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, Black gonna come back with a LMNOP. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But we clicked like that because we was yin and yang. And even today, we've been off the radio, 5, 6, 7, 8 years? People still remember the Who Ride.
Of course.
There's people that still come up to us and talk about the Who Ride. So that's when it started hitting to me that I was making a difference in Las Cruces. Yeah. When people walk up to me and say, man, I remember you came to my school, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And that's when I started thinking I made a difference. Because I don't like the ego shit. I don't like people walk around, like their shit don't stink, man. To me, at the end of the day, we're all human. You know, we're all God's children. It's just that God has bestowed some talent upon some people or some publicity upon some people. So I take that I'm gratified that people do me like that, but I refuse to go around and act like I'm better than anybody else. I don't want to go nowhere and, oh man, your money ain't no good here. Nah, bro, you got the business. You know what I'm saying? If my friend have a business, we're gonna either exchange something or I'm gonna go in there and buy it because I want you to survive. I want to be like my homeboy Henry celebrating his 3rd year anniversary at his Herbalife place. Me, I applaud stuff like that because most businesses don't stay around for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So I support stuff like I support my friends. If you see when I do my shows, it's damn near the same people that sponsoring my events because I support them. So I said, if I grow, y'all grow. And I don't want nothing I don't like going to nobody place, hey, give me something for free. I'm DJ Black. No, man, no, I'm Tommy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna support you because I can't walk into Walmart. Hey, I know Frank Walmart, give me some bread for free. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna be arresting me and shit. So I always support people's grind, and that's why when you talk to me about doing this, man, it's like y'all grinding, bro. So who am I to say, nah, man, y'all ain't, you know, you ain't Club Shay Shay or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I won't do that, bro, because I've been in the trenches. Like I said, man, I don't like say I'm from a poor neighborhood, but in Dallas, man, I had rats and roaches. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I grew up in that attitude thing where I can't act like I'm better than you. I can't act like I'm better than nobody else. I don't give a fuck about the clothes and you know what I'm saying? Ain't no Lamborghini sitting outside and shit. I got damn Nissan Altima and with the gas light on. You know what I'm saying? But they keep me grounded, and that's why when people talk to me, you notice I take a bunch of pictures with people because I believe I owe them. Mm-hmm. I believe I owe people that picture because they've supported me for all these years. That's why, you know, the comedy shows be packed. That's why, you know, the Soul Train night, which took up on his own, and then this brunch, the stuff that all the business that I'm getting from the brunch, man, and all the people hitting me up in my inboxes, bro. I sit around and smile and I'm like, damn, man, this was just an idea. You know, I just saw somebody else in different cities. I said, everybody else doing brunches. Why can't we do a brunch? So one day I just threw it out there and I said, hey, why don't we have brunch? And, you know, of course, Alyssa at Pecan Grill, she said, let's do it. And all of a sudden we do it. But I said, hey, why don't we make it better? Why don't we reach out to these small businesses that don't have the budget to go spend $1 million on radio and TV? Why don't we say, hey, man, why don't y'all take my people that come see me, but also let them see y'all? So now that's why I opened up a brunch, but then it almost turned into a small business seminar. Then we started expanding the idea. So we reached out to the cornhole people. We reached out to, today I'm going to reach out to the car club people. Yeah. Then I want the Army Reserve. So I want to make it like a block party. But at the end of the day, it's still a brunch. But people will remember that. But it's my nice way of saying, you know, thank you, Las Cruces, for always showing me love. Let me show y'all some love. And then I'm gonna wreck them turntables. Yeah. Y'all know I be licking my fingers and shit. You know, I be there just scratching everything, and I just want people to enjoy it, man. But I want to give these people to feel like I want to DJ like if y'all go to Vegas, top notch DJs, they rocking their ass off. I want to be in that category when people come in there, they be like, yo, you go see DJ Black? He go in. You know what I'm saying? Because as a DJ, it's always a commercial for us because we never know who's in the crowd.
That's true.
Then when you DJ your ass off, you start getting other gigs. Mm-hmm. Now I'm to that point where I'm actually turning down gigs. But what I do for my other DJ brothers that I talk to, I say, hey, man, I can't do this gig. Do you want to make this money? Yeah. I don't charge you no finder's fee and none of that kind of stuff because that's not my personality. I just give it, hey, man, here, man, I can't do this one. Do you want to do this one? And cut that, but that's the way I was raised too. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just like if you give, you got to get, or you get, you got to give. You know, vice versa. Yeah. But my bad, man. I go on tangents.
Hey,
and shit,
no,
man.
that's okay, man. We appreciate you, man. Yeah. So one of the first things you mentioned is when you touched down in this area, you really didn't have much to your name. You said, man, I came with, you know what I'm saying? So how did you keep that mindset, you know, and stay positive and, you know, and just durable to make it through? What kept you? I know you mentioned you saw the vision. Yeah. What kept you going?
My daughters.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you have those seeds, bro, your your mind thought is different. And I'm not going to say everybody, because, we got some dudes that, they kids live in town, they don't see them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, ain't my goddamn baby. It's like, baby, look just like your ass. Oh, we need to get a DNA test. And some dudes don't even know better. Man, I'm going to get a goddamn Dina. We need to get a Dina. So I was thinking, no, it's like, bro, that's your goddamn baby. Now, mine, I can't say something to my daughter if I'm not living up to that standard. If she called me tomorrow and say, Daddy, I need so-and-so, so-and-so, as a dad, I'm supposed to provide. So anything she needs from me, I want to be able to do. And not to spoil her, but I think the joy that she have given to me, that as a dad, that's my way of saying thank you for graduating high school, graduating college, not giving me no goddamn headaches, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's the way I see it. Like I said, everybody's different. But
now, if you guys have been watching the interview, we talking to a real DJ, man.
Man, I get down, bro.
So let me ask you this. At what point did you become interested in the art of DJing?
Ooh, man, when I was in high school, there was a guy named Albert English. He was in a group, y'all research this, it was a group in Dallas called Nemesis. So he was actually the band leader at my high school. But back in the day, I was a pop locker, bro. Okay. I was a bad motherfucker in Dallas, bro. You ask anybody on that bitch, I test for shit up, right? I used to come out there in the Bruce Lee suits and shit. And so then I started coming interested in music because back then it was the electro music. They call it house music now. Electric Kingdom, Tour de France, Planet Rock, Murder Rock, stuff like that. And then if you listen to some of the new songs, man, like say Missy Elliott's Lose Control, that's one of my all-time favorite songs, but it came off of the song Clear by Cybertron. So back then I always got off in the music, man. In Dallas, we had two radio stations, man. We had K104 and then we had 107.5. On K104, it was a dude called Ushay. On 107.5, it was a dude called DJ Snake. Oh, I'm sorry. Dr. Rock. So they always battled each other. It was like they always broadcast live from the clubs. And I was always intrigued because I would go back and forth because both of them was jamming. But Ushay was more just straight mix. Dr. Rock was hitting the scratch because he had came down from California. So then I became intrigued. And then when Albert English started DJing, there was this community radio station in Dallas called KNON 89.9, and him and this dude named DJ Snake had a thing called the All Hearty Death Party, and they would just sit on there and jam the fuck out. And Albert actually lived 3 streets over, so I started getting off into DJing a little bit then, but I still was dancing. But then when I went to the military, man, there was a guy from New York up in his barracks. He had 2 turntables. So I started going in there, jamming out with him, but I didn't have none of my records. So there was this record store in El Paso called One World Style. And I used to go down there, man, and get all the records, and there'd be DJs in there, jamming out. And that's when I started meeting, like, DJ Frankie D, Juan Rojas, Eddie Mix, and Jay Smooth. I met all them. They was at Power 102, the Power Mix. Yeah. So that's when I met them, man. So I built a friendship with them. So one day, man, I started buying all the records because what happened when you're a DJ on the radio station back in the day, you were tied into every record label. Okay. So every record label would send you the new records that's coming out. So you had all the music before everybody else. But not only did you have that, if you had a record pool, you would end up getting the same record. So you can actually end up with like 10 copies of the same record. So all of us became cool. And then they heard me at a barbecue on Fort Blitz. I jammed out the barbecue, and everybody was intrigued. So this one officer friend of mine named Otis came up to me and said, "Yo, we got this Kappa party coming up. I want you to DJ it." And it's my first like major gig. So I DJ'd that, and there was a guy from the radio station there. His name was JoJo the Hitman McKay. He was the night jockey at Power 102, so he heard me, and he said, "Man, you need to be on the radio." So then we had a battle, and I battled on air, and I won. Okay. So I became the first black power mixer on Power 102.
Yo, that's dope.
So yeah, it was hard. Well, it was hard because everybody else played dance music, and I played hip hop. And then it was a cat named Mark X. He's still in El Paso now. He gave me my first opportunity, period, to ever DJ at a club. It was a club called Metropolis on the east side of Lee Trevino. He let me do a set.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
How did you feel, bro?
I was nervous as a hooker in church, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because it's so different when you at the crib and stuff like that, man. But then when you get in front of these people, you know, especially when they don't know you from a pot of beans,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you get, but when the clubs is bumping and the sound system's right, you play that right song. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you remember DJ Magic Mike. Magic Mike his bass was so low. So if you play him in the club, you feeling that shit. You know what I'm saying? So what I did, I played the songs I knew they would like. And man, so I'm watching everybody dance, and that should give you a high, bro. Like, it seriously give you a high. You know, I played my short set and I got out the way. But then once I got on Power 102, I took that advance and say, let me show y'all what the fuck I got. So I'm up at that Joker jamming, and this before I really got off in the scratching, but I was just playing the jams. But like I said, we got the music so early. Once you're on the radio, people kiss your ass. So all these record labels calling you, hey man, can you play, you know, do the booty song? You know, yeah. I'm like, yeah, you know what's going on? All of a sudden you start getting t-shirts and plaques and hats and jackets, and they flying you on trips and all this other shit, man. You know, you almost felt like a football player, you know, getting picked up by the colleges. So then as stuff started going on, man, I started building friendships with other DJs. So I'm one of those people, like I said before, people did stuff for me before I became on the radio station, like give me records and stuff like that. So I built a friendship, man, with this guy y'all probably heard of, named Johnny Cage.
Oh yeah, of course.
So me and Johnny Cage, man, as far as the El Paso scene, we basically came up together. And it's crazy because a bunch of people didn't know this, man, but me and Johnny and a dude named Bubba and Johnny's brother Julian and a couple other guys, man, I think Hobby was there, because Johnny used to be in this crew called Casa Connection. We used to always go over Bubba house and practice together. We'll sit up in there and jam and shit like that, man. So we always built this camaraderie with each other, man. So me and Johnny always had this joke. I would call him. I was like, hey, man, I got this old bullshit ass techno dance music bullshit. Come get this shit out of my house, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Because techno had certain record labels that was big, man. You know, DJ Irene and all this shit. So I would tell Johnny to come get these, man. So Johnny would leave my house. You know, Johnny only like 5'1" or some shit.
Yeah.
And he would leave my house with all these records, man. You know, and my thing I look at is like, if I build a camaraderie with this dude, I want in my mind, I want him to be number one in his genre of music. He had all the new music, so when the new music come out, Johnny already had it because I would give it to him. So we always build up a camaraderie, man. And like I said, I love to see people win. I always said Johnny is my Mexican brother from another mother. And then when I see him do that shit right there, man, I always hit him like, yo, man, I'm proud of you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So one of my first big comedy shows, we was at the convention center. And it was Linnell, Earthquake, Chingo Bling. And they picked me to host the show. And then lo and behold, who's in the crowd? Johnny and Ebony. And I never told him like how much that meant to me, you know, because, you know, me and him to come full circle, you know, and we started here and now we're here, but we still supporting each other.
That's love.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's why when I look at my Mexican brother, the stuff he have achieved in El Paso and far beyond that, I applaud it. Because I was like, yo, I was there when this dude, you know what I'm saying, we had them fucking tight ass shirts on and them big ass jeans when you couldn't see the shoes and shit. And, you know, he had, you know, stuff like that, you know. So, and then the way I look at him as I look at me, you know, that's a Mexican brother that came from the Lower Valley. Okay. Me, I came from Oak Cliff, which is probably the worst part of Dallas, to where I am now. I just love to see people win, and when they win, I'm man enough to say I'm proud of you.
Hey,
you know, hey man, I'm proud. I'm man enough to say, man, I love you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to sit around, no homo. It's like, no, man, you in your mind you feel homo, but when you're a man, you can truly say I love you without saying that bullshit face. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's my brother. So when I see him, and then I tell people straight up, man, hey man, I love you. Hey man, I love you. Hey man, I love you. Because I'm man enough to say that. But also in the same breath, when I tell you that, I'm a mean it. Because some people are like, man, I love you. Then you go down the street, man, fuck that motherfucker, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that guy, man. So that's where, you know, I always say it's, to me, I'm not shit, no matter what people think about DJ Black, unless I can help other people. You know what I'm saying? Because you can have all the money in the world, but if you ain't reached your hand out to bring somebody else up, then it's like, so what have you really achieved? So what have I really achieved if I can't help the next person? And I got some homeboys right now, they'll call, they be like, man, Black just called me, shoot the shit. He dropped some gems on me, man. So right now I had to give a shout out to my homeboy DJ 7, man. I seen DJ 7, you know, he used to live in El Paso, and he had a tragic accident that happened with his family, so he decided to move to Las Cruces. So, you know, that man been grinding, doing this stuff for his kids, you know, a single father, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, now we are sharing the enjoyment of him getting his first house built or getting his first house. You know what I'm saying? So we text back and forth, and he was like, man, this shit's surreal. He was like, man, I remember when I talked to you, when I sat with you at your house in Vista, Montana. He said, everything that you told me you was going to do when me and you were sitting at that table, he said, man, you done it, bro. And I told him, I said, what's a vision without putting in work? I said, it's a dream, but what's a dream if you don't put in work? It's a thought. And I said, I don't like the thought, I like to do. You have to, bro. I mean, I can sit here and tell you all day, man, I want to do A, B, C, and D, but if you don't put no action to it, man, you ain't gonna, what is it? You know what I'm saying? Why make the most bomb record, you know, had a studio if you never put that music out? But why put that music out if you don't believe in yourself? You know what I'm saying? Because when you writing those lyrics to your song, bro, you got to believe that this shit is the best thing you ever wrote in the world. You know, it's like a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to open up no restaurant, you think your food nasty. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to, if you don't believe in yourself first, nobody else is going to believe. I don't care what you do. If you don't believe in yourself first, nobody else can believe in you. Because it's all about selling the product. And me, I sell my product everywhere I go. Hey, y'all, March 24, y'all make sure y'all come to my brunch. Hey, y'all, March 24, come to my brunch. Hey, come to my Soul Train night. You know, I'm tagging people and everything else, man. And I know I'm annoying. You know what I'm saying? But people know when they come in that spot, Black finna give them a good product. And then I bust them in the head with this. It don't cost y'all nothing to get in. So you getting $1 million worth of knowledge for $100. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not charging you to come to my shit. Just come in here and have a good time. That's what I'm charging. I'm charging you to have a good time. So my events is no money, bro. And when I do Pecan Grill, it's no money. You come in, and if you have a good time, take your ass home. Don't do no dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. To go home, and then guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna rewind it and come back. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna think of something better to do it bigger and better. But it's still costing you no money. So that's why I be telling you, hey man, bring your camera down here. Let's catch this shit. This shit gonna be a movie, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then while I'm at the crib, I ride down the street. I say, oh, they gonna like this jam. I'm Shazamming, you know, XM and shit. I go home, and then if you see my videos, I'm thinking of remixes and mixes to do so you can enjoy yourself more. And that's my whole philosophy, man. If I give you all of this shit, what do you have to complain about?
Nothing,
bro. You know what I'm saying? You got a nice venue, good parking, it's spacious. We're in there jamming, you know, I got them QSCs turned up, you know what I'm saying? The bartender's knocking that shit out, and it's just a natural good time. And at the end of the day, you're like, damn, man, we had a good time and didn't spend nothing to get in the door.
I feel you, bro.
Go to El Paso and try that.
You can't. You
can't, bro. You're going to go in there, and most likely, man, you're going to pay to get in. Then had the motherfuckers in El Paso, let's be real, they think they tough as shit, like they finna film the Warriors or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Then in my mind, I always look at it like, man, you gotta be dumb as hell to spend money to go in the club and mean mug people. People supposed to go to the club and have a good time. And like I told the owner of Pecan Grill, ain't nobody finna fight off Al Green. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I love the old school, man, because the old school, it sets a mood, bro. It sets a vibe. I always say it sets a vibe, bro. And when you get that vibe, you hear that Frankie Beverly and Mays, and then you hear that Gap Band, and then you hear that, you know, you hear The Time, you hear Prince and Michael Jackson. That sets you in a whole different mode, bro. You ain't worried about fighting. You worried about getting your groove on. Wish you had an afro with some bell bottoms and do the robot or some shit. Yeah. But then I don't want you to be hard. If you start getting hard and the music off, I'll switch it. You know what I'm saying? But then you sitting up in the club, I'm playing Keisha Cole, I'm playing Jodeci, I'm playing Music Soul Child. Man, you tell me where you gonna go get that at. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the way I vibe, man. So now in my mind, I'm thinking like, yo, what I'm hit them with next that I hit them with last time. You know what I'm saying? I might play some R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? I might play some Tevin Campbell. You know what I'm saying? Now we're at a space that we can do that. You know, I ain't got to worry about playing Lil Booker Smack and all these other motherfuckers that's out right now, but I can hit y'all with these grooves that when you go home, you sore as hell because you dance your ass off.
Hey, that's dope.
And then that's